Hello, everybody. This is Sonja Marie, as you may or may not know, and my website is wordlifeastrology.com. That's wordlifeastrology.com. Please go to my website, visit it, and subscribe for different announcements that's going on in my life and a few astrological updates. I'd appreciate it if you do so. Listen, I just wanted to say hello. Give y'all a little weekly rundown of what's going down this week. And hopefully you are in tune and doing the best that you can do. Listen, this is going to be an interesting, that's my word. Like, I should really just have a t-shirt that just says, this is interesting. Life is interesting. How about that? Life is interesting. Word life, Sonja Marie. Yeah, because it's all interesting. And we all get thrown off and thrown on and thrown into and thrown about and thrown on top of and celebrated and smashed. Like, it's all interesting because there's always some other contrary way of looking at whatever it is that you're going through. So let's talk about that because that is the theme of this week, the contrary. First and foremost, though, wanted to let you know, just in case you were wondering, I still have 2 more spots to our retreat in Sedona, Arizona. That's September 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th of this year. Yes, there's a slight discount. I would love if you would join us. Currently, there's about 32 women, including the facilitators and myself, not including us, that's on board right now. And I'm really excited because it's a little bit more than it was last year. And, we're just going to have a good time. And hopefully we reach 40. Like, 40 is the max. That number is the max, but we're going to take whoever wants to go. You trying to go? Hit me up on my, email me. Just serious people. Email me at wordlifeastrology@gmail. Wordlifeastrology@gmail. And I say serious people because some people, no offense to you, will email me and go, I really want to go, girl, but I don't have my money. Okay, so that means you're not going. I'm just saying. Don't tell me that you want to go and you don't have any money thinking that, you just gonna go? Like, I'm just going to say, come on, let's just get on that thing. No, you have to have a little bit of money because, got to pay for the situation and the place to be and 3 meals a day. I'm talking 3 good meals a day. And we'll do meditations and hikes and bonfires and a pool party and yoga and... what else? Oh, my astrology workshop, duh. And Taliba and Didi is going to be there doing womb pulsing. It's going to be a magnificent, hardcore 3 days that's going to change your entire life. Trust me when I tell you. So again, hit me up at wordlifeastrology@gmail.com. Who's in the place? Rizza is here. Tatiana, hi, beautiful lady. You good? I know you good. You a survivor. Tammy is here. Robert, I appreciate you, Robert. You always come on through. Yes, I love it. Jennifer, what's up? Kevin, how are you? Deeba Deeb is in the place. What's up, Lawrence and Mariah and Brandy? Hi. And Christopher, that fine ass Libra. How you doing, baby? You good? All right, let's talk about the week. As y'all may or may not know, I am a crab, I am a Cancer, and like I alluded to or actually professed last week, sometimes as that crab situation, I like to go back or to the side or to the other side in order to go forward. It's just our movement. Some people get irritated by it. Some people don't understand it at all. Not up to you to understand. But as I say that, let me move you in the direction in which us crabs do. Let's go back just a touch. First of all, May has been a month. Can I get a yes, y'all? April was really fucked up. May has been like sitting in the fucked up. I'm just saying. Does anybody agree with me? And listen, if you're having a good month, that's awesome. Listen, I'm not here to turn your whole perspective on. And what I mean by fucked up is the fact that so much, again, this is me stepping back, has come up to the surface for us to reevaluate. In May, it like popped the cap off of the joint. We're like, whoa, wait a minute. What you say? Last week and into May, in April, it was the pop of the cork. And then last week and in most of May, it's been kind of like us sitting in it, trying to figure it out, trying to undo, trying to release blame off of others and ourselves, really, and just see the thing for what it is. Does that make sense? Yes, y'all. Been out of pocket like a mug. I'm trying to tell you, Ada. Been out of pocket like a mug. And I really feel like we're about to step into something that may ask, or I should say, help us to slough this thing off, as well as walk into our power. Now listen, and I'm going to do my best not to make this too long, because I really do have a lot to say. I do. I'm just holding my tongue. The only way, in my opinion, in which, and I'm going to parlay it into some astrology, right? The only way, in my opinion, to get through this moment that we're in is, one, identify your bullshit. Identify your bullshit. We talked about that. Identify what you need to do. Like, what's your habits? What you are capable of or not capable of. The faults that you have. That's one. Number two is figure out how to rectify it. Can you do it by yourself as an individual, as a singular sensation? Or do you need to invite some other people to help you? Is that a situation where you need to ask for help? And say, oh, my bad, I didn't need you before, but I definitely need you now. Eat some crow and make it happen. And thirdly, which I think is the most important, and I really want y'all to try to go here with me, because some people are not going to get it. Some people ain't going to get it, so I'm just going to go out there and say it. You got to bring God through you. Squirrel, have you ever had those moments? Listen to me. Have you ever had those moments where you're sitting somewhere, you're laying down somewhere, and all of a sudden your body gets hot? All of a sudden you feel like spirit, something, come over your face, come over your heart, come up through your feet and up your legs. Oftentimes, in my opinion, when we get those energetic surges, it's spirit coming through us, spirit coming around us, almost like a jolt, like a fibrillator out this motherfucker, a spiritual fibrillator to pump you up and go, hey, you know you're still a part of me, right? That's God speaking. Sometimes we have to pull ourselves through those moments, like literally drag ourselves through those moments, because, stepping back like the crab that I am, Taurus energy, which will be over tomorrow, and we will talk about it in a second, likes to sit in that mud, It's all about quality, yes. It's all about strength, It's all about devotion and all the good stuff. But remember, if y'all don't know nothing or remember anything that I say in the last couple of years that I said anything, it's the fact that every sign has its good and its bad. Every sign has its up and its down. And I really, really pray that you get out of the habit of saying, oh, all Geminis are whack. All Sagittarius is a whack. All Aries don't do that. First of all, that's extremely judgmental. Second of all, you got some shit with you too, boo-boo. So somebody's saying the same thing about you. I digress. The point of the matter is, bring God through you. Bring God through you. That third and most important way. Search for those heated senses that come through your body. You dig? If you don't know how to activate it, put your hands together and make it hot. Put your hands together and make it hot. You may look crazy every now and again, but when you rub your hands, which are some serious chakras, some chakra points in the bottom of your feet, along with the 7 ones that go up and down your spine. You dig? But when you put your hands together, you're activating spirit to come on through. You're saying, yes, I need you right now. I'm bringing my mind, my body, and soul all together to my physical, and I need to feel you. If at any rate, if at the very least, if you can't feel God, activate God. Because we need these moments. Through that Taurus shit, again, that's where I was. Go back on the freaking path, Sonja. Through that Taurus shit of being in the mud and sitting in it with Pluto and Saturn going bananas, yeah, we need help with that. Activate God. Please. Say, I need you through your prayers and all that, but through your body more than anything. Why? Because we are grounded. Why? Because earth sign, Taurus energy, which will leave tomorrow, but it's going to take off into the sky once we go into Gemini season, right? We're going to need to activate that thing so strong that when we go off into the stratosphere and that air sign vibration, we have to know exactly where we're going. Does that make sense to y'all? Or do I sound like some freaking fairy right now? Yes, y'all? To the B? You get that? Activate God through you and know that you are God. Know that God lives in you. Know that you have every piece of spirit that's inside of you that does not want you to fail, that does not want you to fall, that wants you to mend relationships where they should be mended and discard them where they should be discarded. Like leave them off the side of your road. And here's this. Squirrel, last little half a squirrel. Don't get it misconstrued with ego. You know, ego is a motherfucker, man. And everybody wants to rationalize ego. Well, I did it for you. No, baby, you did it for you. Ego says, I did it for the next person. Ego says, I've been busting my ass for you. When you want to bust your ass for somebody, you don't need to say it. You don't need to profess it. You don't need to like scream at the top of the mountain and tell everybody and your grandmother, and every time you get on the phone, need somebody to defend you, or you want to be defended or whatever, you want to be, you want somebody to pat you on the back. You don't need to say that. Ego wants that because ego is deprived. Fuck ego. Do yourself a favor and bring God through you and do what you need to do because you need to do it quietly and understandably for all those surrounding you, especially those on the other side, because they are administering you through this journey. Y'all get that? Yes, y'all. I'm glad. Okay, let's talk astrology. Tomorrow, because I can preach. I told you I got a lot to say, but I'm going to wait for the village. Y'all not in the village, you should be. Tomorrow, and go to my website to find out what that is. Wordlife Astrology. I'm sweating. I'm hot, and it's not even hot in here, but I activated that thing before I got on here because I'm like, I have something to say. They're like, yeah, you do. Listen, tomorrow, Tuesday, May 21st, the sun goes into Gemini. Hey, so the bright side of that, the bright side of Gemini, right? By the way, at 3:59 a.m., so that means we're going to go to bed and wake up. We'll be in Gemini season. Hello to all the Geminis. By the way, Gemini rules my 11th house, which has to do with friendships and groups. And I love Geminis. I love Geminis for the fact that that Gemini energy, right? It brings, this is the bright side, it brings superficiality to certain situations. Most situations. And I do not mean that in a negative way. Sometimes we need not be in the mud. Sometimes we need not be in our emotions. And Gemini says, listen. I understand that you're going through some things, but can we go to the bar and have a drink? I understand that you're going through some things, but can we talk about that later? Like it not to say that it negates. They have a hard time going deep. And they try to minimalize it, but for the sake of balancing things out. Do y'all get that? Because we can't live in our feelings. That's suicidal. We can't live in that space of depression all the time or trying to is that the word? Unload, unearth. Yeah, all of our feelings and our historical patterns and our karmic ways and blah, blah, blah. Not all day, every day. That shit is exhausting. And Pluto and Saturn are doing a good enough job to do that right now. Now, that has everything to do with what I'm about to say, because check this out. The sun in Gemini, 3:59 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mañana, right? Also, Mercury goes into Gemini, 6:52 a little bit 3 hours later, a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that means the sun is shining in Gemini season of superficiality, communication, negotiation, duality. Right? So the sun is shining in that, and Mercury, how we think, how we process information, how we communicate with one another, how we write, right? Also, Gemini energy is like very compartmentalized, like a producer. Geminis are the best producers. Geminis are like, they're the best linguists. I mean, look at Tupac, look at, oh, wow. Why'd his face just come across my head and I can't? Curtis Mayfield. Curtis Mayfield was a Gemini. And the reason why I say Curtis Mayfield is because if you look at that brother's lyrics, Anyway, the lyrics and the literary like prowess of Gemini is outstanding, right? Here's the other side of Gemini. Remember, it's the sun and it's Mercury, right? How we think and how the light is shining tomorrow. This is for everybody, even though you're a different sign. This is what we are propelled to fall into, so to speak. It's almost like when the sun shines, you can't help but get it on you. So this is what you're going to get it on regardless of who you are, right? This is what's going to get on you regardless of who you are. Trying to get my throat and tongue together. All right. So also, the other side of Gemini, the duality, which is good sometimes, depending. This is where people think that Gemini energy is two-faced. It's not necessarily two-faced. It just can see things in compartments. I understand this and I understand that. I mean, what's the big problem? Why can't everybody have their way? Well, because oftentimes in this freaking society, everything is black and white. There is no gray. There is no understanding. Gemini brings the understanding. The cohesiveness, tries to anyway, in a superficial way. However, Gemini can snap on your ass, and I always like to say they'll bake you a cake in the morning time and cut you with the knife that they sliced the cake up with in the evening. True, and believe that. I'm telling you, they're just crazy like that. And they really don't care at the end of the day. They service you, but at the same time, they're like, if they want to cut you off, they can really, really cut you off. Gemini has a way of, again, servicing, loving in their superficial way, only because they don't want to get too close in feelings. This is all of that that's coming in on us. Look, bask in it, understand it, and do yourself a favor and navigate through it. Now, why? The biggest reason why is because all of that Pluto and Saturn stuff, and I have to continue to reference this. Why? Because it's not over. The Pluto and Saturn upheaval shit on the wall things is not over until they go direct. And that's throughout the whole summer. So from an astrological standpoint and all you budding astrologers out there, you have to see what transits are happening that's going to affect that Pluto and Saturn, you dig? So Gemini don't like Capricorn, and Pluto and Saturn is in Capricorn. So here comes the irritation. Here comes the irritation. It's not necessarily a square where it's challenging. It's irritated. It's a quincux. So somewhere in the middle of this month, when that Sun and that Mercury first hits the quincux of that Pluto and that Saturn, I need y'all to breathe. I need y'all not to do too much, because that Gemini energy wants to just keep it busy, wants to just keep thinking, overthinking in order to get through the pain or the upheaval and the shit on the walls. You can't overthink that thing. Once the shit is on the wall, it's on the wall. Don't think that you are mentally astute and superior. Gemini energy thinks it to get through that stuff. Never, ever, 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 ever happens. Gemini is patient. Capricorn energy is patient. That Pluto and that Saturn, it's going to keep working and keep showing you the shit. So utilize it like the friend that you don't necessarily like. That shit made me laugh. You know why? Because everybody got a friend that they really don't like. But sometimes you just hang around them because they make good sweet potato pie. Or sometimes you just hang around them because, they got a nice car. I'm joking. That's so damn, that's just whack, Sonja. Those are really whack examples. But you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you have to utilize situations and people like, I don't need to be too coochie cool, but they got a point. So you ride next to them. That's how you have to utilize that Gemini and that Capricorn energy that comes together. Does that make sense to y'all? I was about to go way off on a whole nother street with that little analogy. I hope you follow that. So that's tomorrow, and that's the big deal that's happening this week. Hopefully you understand and you utilize it the best way you know how. So with it being in Gemini, one last tidbit. We're coming up out of the mud, especially on Thursday when that moon, which will be in Aquarius, is trining the sun in Gemini. So now that we think that we can get up out of it, that is the day in which we utilize that cerebral, I put down here, the cerebral explosion. Not to a point where our ego takes over, though. The ego, when it comes to Aquarius, moon, and coupling up with Gemini, sun, it's like, oh, I know, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to plan. This is how we're going to get it together. The ego takes over and says, yeah, we can do this. We can do this because what? We are superior in our mind. Yeah, until you trip and bust your lip, and physically you're no longer superior because you got a broken leg. You understand what I'm saying? Use the prowess of the mental on Thursday when the moon, your emotions, couples with the sun and the ego and says, let's work together and figure out a plan, but be respectable of the steps that you make. Be respectable of the energy and the love, because remember, Mars is in Cancer. So as we move and motivate through the world in Cancer in an emotional, intuitive way, you got to respect that piece. You can't overthink the emotions, because the emotions will allow you to trip and bust your lip, and then your feelings will be hurt. I hope that makes sense. I'm gone because I think I've been on here way too long. I'm going to go talk to the Village. And if you don't know about the Village, it is a subscription-based community in which we come together once a week. We pull our natal charts. We talk about the eclipses extensively for over an hour every week. We just go in. And more importantly, I think it just gravitated, or I should say magnified, a group of people that love each other more than I ever thought. Like, it's a serious community. You can't pay for that. You can't pay enough for that. Anyway, I hope you have an awesome weekend. All right? Do yourself a favor and take trepidatious steps. As you walk, just think about what you're doing. Smile and stay above the madness, all right? You can do this. I know it. Talk to you soon. Bye.